I'm sitting on my plot here in northern Knox County, just close to home here. Just wanted to go through my plot. I haven't been through it too much here in the last couple weeks. Been out looking at corn in different areas and been at the Farm Progress show. So just want to go through here and go through some products with you guys real quick on the northern edge of my territory. Yeah, this location here is typically a 240 to 260 bushel yield environment. In the really good years, we've had some 290s, 280s hit. It's more of a Class B farm, Osco soil, some I pave in it. Does need tile. It's a rented farm, of course, so not as much tile as you'd like to have. But you know, this location, we've had here a plot of corn and soybeans for, I don't know, 15, 17 years, kind of rotated them back and forth. So pretty good, consistent location. And you know, so you might see some things here that are unique to my area in the north, and then might just be a nice different look of corn, or at least another location to look at for you guys that aren't able to get out and look at as many plots currently. Hope you learned something. Enjoy. Looking at 20734, brand new Smart Stacks Pro. Seems to be pretty blocky ear type, 16 to 18 around. Not very long at this location. About a quarter milk line or so. 3 weeks or so to go on this one for till black layer, but definitely seeing some tar spot in here in the upper canopy, but should finish without too many issues, I believe. Looking now at 20970 Tricepta. See much longer ear type, more flex here in this than the 20734 if you compare the two. We are about a quarter milk line on this one as well, so they're tracking about the same pace. Looking at the upper canopy. Definitely a tar spot in this location, but holding fairly well. We're in 21018 Smart Stacks Pro, so brand new product here. Definitely a little more closed canopy type of product. Looking at the ear type, not as nice a grain quality as some others. Definitely doesn't look like it's going to weigh as heavy, but we've got a lot more kernels length and holding 16, 18 around. About a quarter, almost milk line or so. Now, one thing I'm watching on this product that we've noticed in some locations is ear shank. Seems to be okay in this location, but you do notice in here just how easy it is to kind of tip these ears down, and that's something that as we get closer to black layer we'll continue to monitor. Yeah, that's not what I like to see. We'll definitely monitor that and see how consistent that is in other locations. Looking at 21071 Tricepta. Notice pretty decent plant health on this product. We've got it rated as below average for tar spot, but seems to look just as good as 20970. Maybe a touch better on overall health in this location. Ear size, though, not quite as big as 20970. Two 1111 VT2 Pro, just beautiful looking canopy. can really see the plant health in this product as we've moved across. Some tar spots still showing up, but not to the degree in the others. Just beautiful. Nice ears, gonna weigh real heavy. 16 around, about a quarter milk line, so still packing on some weight. Looking really good here in this location. In 211-14 Smart Stacks Pro, brand new product here. Plant health looks above average in this location. Pretty consistent in terms of ear size, it looks like. A little tip back on most every ear, about the same amount of cob. Looks like the grain's gonna weigh pretty heavy. Not very deep cap on it. Seems like every ear's got a ½ to an inch of cob sticking out, and it's pretty soft. And if you look at the husk coverage, we got extra long husk coverage. I think it's retaining a little bit of moisture in there, which, you know, that's not what we want for ear health long term if we get a lot of rains coming in. So that's something for me for a watch out on this product here. Could get some ear rot starting to form at the tip of the ear. Overall, nice grain depth and good looking corn. I got 212-63 VT4 Pro. Good looking canopy. Little disease coming in. Now, this product needs to be managed fairly well. More of a short, blocky ear type. 18 around on this one here. Bringing the milk line down. Pretty heavy kernels though. Maybe a little too much stress at this location for the yield potential this product has. And 212-76 Tricepta, brand new corn here. Nice full canopy, pretty close canopy. A lot of good looking leaves up top. Health wise, really good plant health. Looking at the ear type, more of a lower ear placement, medium to lower ear placement. It's a little bit of tar spot on the ear leaf, but look at the grain depth. Really just looking at this corn to see what the yield potential is. Seem to be more of a placement consideration corn where you're probably not on your best acres, maybe maxing out the top end yield. But I like the plant health look here we got at this location. Brand new 213-53 Smart Stacks Pro. Pretty healthy upper canopy. We do start to senesce the lower canopy, and you know, we're pulling nutrients from there and then starting to get some tar spot building in. Noticing a lot of pullback here on the kernel set. So something did not agree with it here, whether it was a heat stress or just set up way too long. We're still holding roughly 30 kernels long. A little bit further along actually than the 109 days. Got some pretty good expectations for this corn, but we'll just have to see, you know, if we got a placement consideration or a planting population consideration to take into account. This location was at 36,000. We're standing 35,000 ear count. $214.78, a big robust plant type. Pretty healthy all the way up to the top. Do have some tar spot, of course, in the canopy here as we start to senesce. About a quarter milk line. Ear set's just a tad lower than you would expect, especially for May 6 planting, which is good, as it likes to set a pretty high ear set. But definitely notice, you know, like we see in 214-78 quite a bit, just tips back inch to 2 inches. Can flex for the environment and for the yield potential. We're in the brand new 215-25 Smart Stacks Pro version. Seem to be holding decent health through the upper canopy. You know, senescing the lower leaves. Looking at the ear type, moderate to medium, you know, moderate to lower ear placement. Grain quality is going to be average, it looks like, maybe a touch above average. You know, one thing about this corn is I was peeling the husk back, very tight husk coverage, and you can kind of see you get a little bit of damage on the tips of the ear holding some water. We got some kernels starting to sprout. Quite a ways to go for maturity in this corn, but probably the number one thing here we're going to look at and monitor here is this husk coverage. And it's kind of hard to do it on camera here, and you can't really feel it, but you can just kind of see how tightly wrapped some of these are. And we've got some where the cob's sticking out of the ear. The cob is sticking out of the husk, I'm sorry, I mean. Some with excess husk coverage. So that's something to keep an eye on as we walk more plots. 215-25, the Tricepta version, looks very similar. Pick apart a few differences, maybe a little bit, few inches higher ear set in this location, but maybe a little more grain length. Still see the same issue with husk coverage, and this ear here in particular felt the moisture when I was pulling the husk back, and you can see some kernels starting to germinate in there. And that's, you know, if that's consistent through many locations, that's going to be a concern for this corn for me. But we will just have to look at more and see how it is. 215-70. Holding really good plant health wise. Senescing the lower part of the canopy. Interesting at this location, just in general, the ear placement's lower than typical. Early season stress, I think, brought that on. Overall, pretty decent look for 215-70. Probably doesn't look as good as some of your 215-70, but I think the yield potential at this location is just going to be pretty average, considering other years where we've had 260s to 290 yields, maybe more like a 240 to 260 type environment this year. In 217-12 Smart Stacks, pretty dense canopy here, green from the top almost to the bottom. A little bit of tar spot working on it. Yeah, one of this product's concerns, or has been, is the husk tightness, like some others we talked about. Yeah, we do see a little bit of grain quality issues on this corn. Yeah, see some of this one here in particular had some stress on it, likely from the heat. We lost some yield due to the heat there. Some other ears look really great. If you look at the depth and the cap, you know it's going to weigh pretty heavy. Just got back to my truck after looking at that plot and filming some video for you guys. Overall comment, I guess, about the plot itself, just probably under expectations, but we've kind of known that from what we've looked at with the heat stress in July and August. Haven't had much rain here, half an inch total roughly for the whole month of August. So we're seeing some ear sizes that aren't quite what we'd like to see, and we're going to sort that out the next couple weeks for everybody. But we've built our piles of corn that we've been confident in, and from what I can tell, they look really, really strong. I think just overall the yield potential in some of these fields is just going to be average, really good corn, but just not like what we've seen the last year for sure, or in some of those high yielding years like 2018. But I could be wrong. It's happened at least 4 times already today, so it's going to happen even more. We'll see what it does. Catch you later.